Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to JFK. Local time is 5:53 p.m. The temperature is 62 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. On behalf of American Airlines and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we're looking forward to seeing you on board soon. Have a great stay and welcome to New York.
They say if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. New York, New York, the city that never sleeps. From the bright lights of Times Square to the projects in Brooklyn, it's an oceanic gap between the rich and the poor, but all it takes is one moment to bridge that gap. The birthplace of hip-hop, it's a place where many risk it all in the pursuit of happiness and accomplishment. Cipha Sounds is a DJ and comedian from the big city with 20 solid years of working in the music industry. The early days saw him go from intern with Funkmaster Flex to working at the landmark radio station, Hot 97.
I started DJing in high school, roughly, and around the college years, I met DJ Riz, who was down with Funkmaster Flex, and he introduced me to Flex, and I started working with him, opening up at the clubs and being his intern at the radio station, and from there, my whole career took off.
Cipha was in the field when peers Big Pun, Fat Joe, and Nori were regarded as up-and-coming artists, a time when New York hip-hop reigned supreme.
New York at that time was just on top. Like nobody, that's when hip-hop really first started selling a lot of records, when darker hip-hop was selling a lot. So it was just a good era to like the head nod, Swiss Beats first era, and that era where like the grimy music was selling a lot. So like we feel like we accomplished a lot at that time.
In between his numerous roles within Hot 97, Cipha was an A&R at Raucous Records, Tommy Boy Records, Star Trek, and Rockefeller. He opened up for a number of artists at concerts and went on various tours with artists ranging from Mos Def to Lil' Kim.
Been really instrumental in a lot of people's careers. In New York City, he broke Rick Ross.
Y'all already know what it is, man. It's the big boss, Ricky Ross, Ciph, what it does.
He broke Rihanna. You know, even Rihanna, I don't know if you remember when she put like this really emo post about him. It's true. You know, he broke so many people. And you forget, he was Lil' Kim's tour DJ. He was one of the main DJs at the Tunnel, along with Riz and Flex, and you know. He has an insane resume. Like, he's been in A&R, he's been this, he's been that. Like, he's awesome.
At the end of the show or during the show, during breaks, I would try to introduce myself, tell them like, yo, Ciph, I'm a DJ if you need any help. And I would get the same response, like, yeah, cool, give me your info, and I'll give it to my man, his like assistant at the time. Then I get a call from Jamal, who was part of Cipha's management team. They were managing like Nina Sky and Daytona. And Jamal says like, yo, Cipha gave me your info. Are you still interested in interning? Come down to the office and we'll chop it up. And it just grew into like something crazy to today. Like now we're both rocking together. Like not only was he a mentor, but we became like family. So now it's like more personal. At this point, as they say, like I would take a bullet for him. Cause it's not just about the music or about the business. Like he could stop doing music and I'ma still love him the same.
Hey world, this is Peter Rosenberg.
Hi, I'm Cipha Sounds.
And right there, right across the street is Hot 97 where hip hop lives.
Peter Rosenberg has been working alongside Cipha since he joined the station in 2007. Together, they created the first ever hip hop podcast, Juan Epstein.
Juan Epstein just started because we needed to practice getting to know each other. And when you're talking on the radio the way we were, it was quick breaks. We didn't know each other. So I was like, why don't we just, Cipha was like, we should practice. And I was like, well, why don't we record it and make a podcast? And Cipha was like, what's a podcast? I'm like, oh, you know, and this is 2007. Podcasts were a totally different world than we're in now. Cipha was like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's this thing where you just record yourself talking and do a little show. And it started out as us just getting to know each other. And if you go back and listen to the early ones, I mean, I probably can't even bear to get through them, how awkward it is, how little we knew each other and how different we were at the time. And then it just evolved into being a hip hop podcast about music. But it didn't start that way.
Does
my face look that bad?
Yeah, you look retarded. No, I'm just kidding. You look fine.
No, face for podcasts.
You do have a face for podcasts. A lot of people say that.
Everybody got a podcast nowadays. But the first hip-hop podcast ever was Juan Epstein, me and Peter Rosenberg. The early Juan Epsteins are just me and him talking, like whatever. And eventually we started doing interviews, and we started killing them with the interviews because we were doing like in-depth, nerd, old school hip-hop interviews, and like asking about like beat machine, like what beat machine did you use to make this beat, and who's singing vocals on this, it's not listed on the album, and just get deep.
When I did the College Dropout, I was really attempting to get that type of sample and that type of feeling at all costs, at all times. Yeah.
I get super nerdy.
Take it to the next level.
Super nerdy. Because you're a Pete Rock fan, Q-Tip fan, but then you have this affection for RZA music. So you an MPC or you an ASR type of guy?
I use both.
In between Cipha's endeavors within the music industry, his peers and listeners suggested that he should get into comedy due to his funny persona on air.
When I got my own show on the radio, Cipha Saturdays, that's where I used to do like a lot of prank phone calls and hang up on people and say funny stuff on the air. So that's when people started to be like, yo, I like your show, it's mad funny, it's mad funny. And I'm the type of person where I go where it's hot. So if funny is the thing that they keep saying and that word keeps coming up, I'm gonna pursue that because, I go with what works. And even like Chappelle's show, like I was friends with Chappelle before that because he loves hip hop and he'd always be around Mos Def and Raucous Records and all that. And, he knew I loved watching him at the Comedy Cellar and doing stuff with him, like funny stuff. So he was like, yo, I'm starting this pilot. You want to DJ on it? Then I get to be on the most popular comedy show ever. You know what I'm saying?
DJs, nothing phases a DJ. What tones a DJ is like? You just sick of everything, aren't you?
At home last night. Wouldn't make love to me, man.
Cipha's passion for comedy grew, and before long, he was hosting comedy events all around the city.
Take it easy.
Cipha's always been funny, and everyone would say, do comedy, but he was so focused on the music and radio and that he always had like the love for comedy, but he never really did it. And then to see him like start promoting shows and using the radio as a platform to market and promote the shows and get people in there, and the audience Cipha was bringing in was a whole new audience. So right there we knew like this is gonna be something.
Tell you something, I'm playing around. Ciph gives me just as much support. I need to do anything to promote, he allows me to do it. So I'm helping him out now. I let me come up, blast this stuff on my shows, reach out to all the people that came out to support me.
I might switch to comedy because rap money ain't really that good anyway. I tell you the truth. I'm fucked up, I need mortgage money. Somebody book me here and there, give me like 3 minutes, I'll say some funny shit. Ciph is fat, his hoodie looks funny. He don't know what it says on the front, it's Chinese writing, he never knew Chinese. I only say that because I lost a low weight, Ciph. I would have never called you fat a few years ago. I know you fat. If you lose weight, call somebody else fat, fuck that.
Transition wasn't, it wasn't just like one day I started doing one thing and then doing the other. Like, it was gradual. Like, I started producing my own comedy shows, then I started doing stand-up on other shows, then I started my improv show. All this was on the radio. The radio just fueled the comedy shows. Like, I could shout out all the shows I was gonna be at. All the clubs wanted me because I could shout it out. No other comedian was on the air at the time, hip-hop wise. Every morning show pretty much has like someone that does comedy in a way, but not like the way I was doing it, like doing my own shows and stuff. And yeah, it just helped one another until to the point where I was getting so busy with comedy, I had to weigh out whether I wanted to still stay at the station or not, and just comedy won.
Following the departure of Angie Martinez from Hot 97, Cipha was appointed to temporarily hold down the afternoon slot in her absence.
We got T.I. on the phone.
Oh, Tip, what up, Tip?
Yo, what's up? Cipha Sounds, man. Congratulations, man. Good talking to you, man. You finally came on up. Got your own thing, man.
It's not my slot. I'm just holding it down today. DJ Enough is doing the rush hour.
No, man. Nah, hell no, man. You come on down to Atlanta, man. Celebrate your new position. You know what I'm saying? Everything on me, man. We're going to pop big bottle of champagne, man. I'm going to lock down 3 clubs, man. We're going to do it for a whole week, man. Come on down. I'm talking about, man, it's a big thing for you, right?
No, it would be, but it's not set in stone yet. I think they tested me out.
What the hell you mean it ain't set in stone yet?
Yeah, I don't have it permanently. I don't know.
Well, why in the hell is you talking about? What am I doing on the phone then, bro? You know what? We shouldn't be talking about this right now, man. Just hit me back, man.
Could you get Iggy to call?
Man, hell no. Iggy's finna call you talking about no almost finna do something, man. What do you mean? You want somebody to call you and you ain't even did nothing for real yet? As a matter of fact, why is we goodbye?
Hello?
Cipha's time in the afternoon slot was short-lived. He left Hot 97 shortly after, or as he referred to it as, his home.
It was really hard to walk away from Hot 97. It was my home, man. It was literally my home. It was lasted longer than a bunch of relationships I was in. And if you punch in my GPS navigation, if you press the button home, the Hot 97 address pops up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just everything. And it was like a bad divorce. Literally the day I signed my papers to leave Hot 97, Chris Rock called me and got me an audition at the Comedy Cellar. And I left one huge landmark for hip-hop radio and went into the biggest comedy landmark in New York.
You've heard the stories of people who quit their corporate job to follow their passion. Well, guess what? Cipha's done this for years. And for him to be like, all right, I'm not gonna quit. I'm gonna put it on pause, right? I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna keep my podcast. And he still DJs, you know? But I'm gonna really pursue my comedy and like my improv stuff and his production stuff. Not too many people are that brave to take that chance, you know, and be like, okay, well, I'm done with this chapter in my life and I'm gonna start a new one. And he just brings like a different twist to it too. Like he has a successful show at UCB Theater that Take It Personal. And he's opened the doors for people who maybe weren't into improv before. Because I know I never was really into it until he kind of put us on. And I know so many people now that have taken intro classes.
That moon is working so hard to make sure we have tides every day, all right?
Yeah. And the tide brings in Mexicans.
I mean, Ciph's passion for comedy grew over the time that we worked together. And it became clear after a few years that he was more passionate about comedy and improv and stand-up than he was even about the music industry.
I felt that a lot of times they would look at him like, oh, just because you're this popular DJ, you're gonna come in here and think you're gonna be successful in our world. So he worked his ass off, and guess what? And he's really, really good.
My veteran status in music definitely carries over into comedy. Some people know me, some people don't, but they all respect what I did before. They respect my hustle now. I mean, I host at the Comedy Cellar. I'm not no big headliner. So they see that I'm willing to go back down the ladder to climb back up, you know?
Yo, you see, obviously I have the man, the legend in the building.
Why you going so H.O.? H.O., he tough, man. Crucial. He's crucial.
Let's see what you're doing.
I mean, you know,
what you're doing.
taking it there.
Get it right, get it tight.
I mean, wait a minute.
Hove!
What's up?
It's me, Cipha Sounds.
Yeah.
I was always cool with Jay-Z and the Rockefeller people, and then they formed Rock Nation, which is like a lot of the same people. And my boy OG Juan was like, yo, come over here, we're gonna take care of you, you're gonna be down with us. You don't have to feel like you're out there alone. You know what I'm saying? So they gave me a deal, and it's just been a blessing ever since.
In addition to signing with Rock Nation, Cipha recently began hosting a brand new stand-up comedy series on Tidal.
What's up, New York City? I'm DJ Drewski. I need the energy, right? I need you to make some noise. This is the No Small Talk comedy series. Now give it up for your host, Cipha Sounds. Hey, hey, hey.
Anybody on like a Tinder date? Nobody's on a fucking Tinder date, really? $1 billion industry, nobody's on a Tinder date? No, because the reason why I asked, because I use that shit, man. Tinder's the shit. I met both my girlfriends on Tinder, yo. Fucking love that shit. Both of them fucking love it. The fucking wife hates that shit, though. The thing is, people like say they want to do something, but they don't really do it. You gotta like pick that thing you want to do and beat it to death. I've lost a lot of girlfriends because I would pick work over relationship all the time. Anytime something came up, even if I was out with a girlfriend. And Flex would call, I was out, gone, like I gotta go, done. And I just beat it to death.
People who halfway it's hard. That is a real challenge. For me, it was a real commitment to like, this is what I'm gonna do. And then once I made the decision to move to New York, it was clear like, okay, now I'm on the path to pursuing it. Because even though I was working in jobs in DC in the field, there's something about moving specifically for a job that makes it like, okay, I'm officially on the path. What am I doing? And I've been really lucky since then.
It wasn't easy. You know, I came here and I ate shit for a long time. I was broke and I hustled my way, but I worked at Clear Channel, which is Power 105 now. I worked there at the beginning of my career answering phones when it was just an old school station. And then I worked in Latin radio, and then I worked for a pop station. So I moved around before I got here. It wasn't just like, hi, I'm here and I got a job at Hot. So it was a journey.
I always believed in myself, and I knew there was certain key things I had to do, and I got it done. Like, meeting Ciph was an opportunity, and you gotta keep taking those opportunities. They're around you. They're so close, and I'm in Jersey, so I had no excuse. Like, I'm 20 minutes train ride into New York City. So I had no excuse but to make it, and I just never thought, I always thought like, this is what I wanted, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, there was no other options.
Despite remaining focused, the recent birth of his baby girl added new meaning to his life and gave him additional purpose and drive.
When you have a kid, it's like, to the next 18 to 20 years, they depend on you, you know? So like, you're like, all right, I'll definitely do that. You might think of a gig that you normally might not take, but you're like, that's some money I could stack, you know? And gives you motivation, but like also like, just trying to be a good person and like think about like what morals you want to teach. And like, I don't know, there's some kids look like they didn't even have fucking parents the way they act. So I just want to make sure my daughter's not a douchebag or an asshole. That's like one of my main goals, like, be a douchebag.
Cipha personifies what it means to be a dream chaser. Standing as a veteran in music, he has taken the risk to step into the world of comedy in pursuit of what he loves, paving his own path to success. The public glorifies you once you make it, but the true magic happens on the journey itself, and Cipha has been on an extensive one. Whether behind the decks or on stage with a mic in his hand, he proves that dreams can come true as long as you are prepared to chase them.
Check, 1, 2. Yo, Brooklyn, can y'all make some noise right now? Y'all sounded like the new Brooklyn, with a lot of bakeries and bike shops and unicycles and weird mustaches. Where my OG Brooklyn niggas at? Make some noise. Let's go. What? So I got a couple records. I got this record. This is one of the biggest records I used to sell in here. Most Def, straight vinyl only. It's not on none of his albums.
Yeah.
Ow. If you love hip hop, make some motherfucking noise right now. Let's go.
Good. H is what style be, but I grab the microphone and MC. Roll off the tongue like LMNOP. And when I am done, you will agree. Most Def represent most definitely. Jesus, when I used to rock in 83. Drank up all the Kool-Aid at the block party.
Is any Brooklyn people in here? Any Brooklyn people?
I still speed and brown shoe on TV.
Anybody above 30 and better?
Like this.
Some people love hip hop, and then some of us know hip hop from that area. So if you don't know these records, pay attention.
The record skip, even with the record skip, I don't quit. We about to make this one the sure hit. Sean J, make the party people feel it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce a very interesting young man who's traveled from very far away to be with us tonight.